Hey guys, Jeep and Bubba here, and welcome to another episode of the Jeep and Bubba YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be doing a review of the Durhamtown Offroad Park. Now, it's not an official review in any way. They didn't ask me to do this. This is, a lot of people mentioned they like it. A lot of people say it's redneck. You get lost. A lot of people say it's muddy. It's nasty. It's really meant for dirt bikes and four-wheelers. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews, watched a lot of videos online, and done some research, and I'm weary about the place. But I'm going today with Jonathan Woolley from S3 Magazine and a couple other guys, and we're all kind of meeting up. Probably the biggest group we've had in a while, like 4 or 5. I usually don't ride in big groups. But anyways, we're going to go ride and see what it's all about. And I'm going to do kind of a very strict review of it, whether I like it or not. So I just gassed up. I got about an hour drive from my house to get there. So I'll get there and I'll let you guys know what I think. Now it has rained early in the week. We've had a few days without rain, and it is supposed to rain for about an hour before we get there. So hopefully it dries out enough that it's not that muddy. But from what I hear, even in the dry season, it's very muddy. So I'm not excited about that. I don't like cleaning mud up. Wooly loves mud, so he'll be right in hog heaven. But I've seen some videos with some rocks at it, so I'm hoping for some rocks. But before I cast any judgment, I don't know anyone that works there. I don't know any management. I don't know anything about the place other than looking it up online, looking at their website, looking at some YouTube videos, but I've never seen anyone do a kind of a strict review, like the Russian judge at the Olympics review. Just a stern, no nonsense, love it or hate it kind of thing. So that's what I'm doing. So let's go check this place out.
You know what? Alright, so I went to third one, and I was like, yeah.
Alright guys, we're out on the trail and it's sloppy, it is muddy. That is not their fault technically because it is raining. So I'm not gonna knock them for that, but it looks like on a typical day that this place would just be a lot of dirt roads with ruts. There are some decent ruts, for sure. Yeah, give me 1 second. All right, I'd like to say there is we have a group of about 7 or 8 of us, and there's a new guy, new to Jeeps, not new to us, but new to Jeeps. And so they stuck him in front of me. I'm in the very back of the pack, and we got radios between just the 2 of us. So I'm kind of giving him some mentorship today, which I love to do. I had a few people do that for me out west when I went into the rocks, but never really when I started in the mud here in Georgia. So I'm really glad whenever I can help people and get them that education. It's definitely a necessity, and you can learn the hard way, and it's how I learned. But it you know, it was costly, and it made me hate the sport at times. So it's definitely just one of those things. I am tracking on a little bit on Gaia today. Getting some locations, but not necessarily making tracks. You can see the park in satellite mode, but you can't see the trails. I guess I could track it, but that would be a good thing for me to do one day if I had some time and it wasn't with a big group, would be to make a track so we can all kind of know where the trails and stuff are. But anyways, I thought that the registration area and the initial pull up to the park was a little redneck, which I like, but you know, it might not be as encouraging. I got a big rut right here to maybe newcomers that seemed a little, not that it wasn't friendly, I'm gonna adjust this, it just seemed like a little, like a hunting club or something like that. Seemed like a lot of dirt bikes out front, so for Jeep people it may not seem that inviting. Not their fault, I don't think. It's just kind of my first take on the place, but a lot of wood buildings. They had some signs, but kind of not any big signs to kind of tell you where to go. Small signs, and I figured it out. In the rain, it makes it a little bit more difficult, of course, too, to see everything. But anyways, it was nice inside. Everyone was friendly. We had a big group come in at one time. They got us handled quickly, and everyone was real nice. Bought 2 tokens to the car wash afterwards. There's an area you can spray your vehicle down. They have air available, so I aired my tires down to 18 psi for today because it is so slippery. I just want to make sure I got plenty of traction, disconnected of course. And so basically we are headed up a trail now. I think it's called Slippery Nipple or something like that, and the first couple of guys are attempting it. So so far it's pretty muddy, but beautiful scenery back in the woods here, and kind of what I expected. But I'll give you some more information as we go forward, and also film some Jeep action and not just be me talking and reviewing the whole time. So we attempted that hill. 2 guys got up. I did not get up. I actually hit diff covers going up. But I'll show you, everybody is pretty muddy. It is sloppy muddy. And it is raining, so that's partially our fault, but it looks like this is a natural state for this place, and we're only making it worse by being out here in the rain. I have some sort of stick or something wedged underneath my Jeep, but it is too muddy for me to get underneath there, so I'm just gonna let it hang out, hopefully break off. We got some guys that are actually riding back here right now and getting stuck, and we're gonna see if it's passable for the rest of the crew.
Holy, come on! You're sitting on 37, walking on 35. I'm open. Dude, if anyone's gonna break shit, it's me. I have to make so as soon as I get the locker. Yeah.
All right, we just did this section. It's like a pretty cool creek, and I would say on a dry day this would be super fun. It was hard ass work to get the LJ up, and a couple others made it on some big tires with lockers, but it looks just like a creek right now, but it is pretty nasty. I'm gonna step down a ledge real quick and let you guys see behind me some big boulders and rocks. I am so happy this is here. I'll come back to the park just for stuff like this. Obviously this was a natural creek bed, and they kept it and they let you wheel it, and it's on private property, so it's awesome. The LJ did good. I had some good spotters, some people helping, so everything worked out. I wish I could have filmed it on my phone, but I actually lost my phone for a minute. But everything's all good. We're gonna keep riding. I had a lot of fun in that section, so the park will definitely get some big points just for that. So they have this nice little muddy hill climb, and what you missed, and I wish I would have caught it on camera, I apologize, was Drew came down this hill, and when he got to that puddle, he tried to stop, and he endoed the Jeep, hit a stinger there. I mean, it was grill in the mud. back tire in the air. It was fantastic. What do you think?
Well,
Would you get some fried chicken?
Yeah. All right, now for dinner. I'm saving for dinner. For dinner, they got ribs.
Ribs.
What's up? These are just getting me it's tied over thing, you know?
Okay.
Hell, Daytona 500.
It's filming.
He cracked his phone today. You mad about it?
Nah.
You want me to hold it sideways?
Yeah, sideways.
Sideways. So what you think about this place? Bubba is typically against off-road parks.
I'm against off-road parks. Everything I thought was basically what's here. But I was impressed with the little creek area that we climbed. I would come here just for that when it's dry. I like that there was more rocks than I thought, and there wasn't that many man-made obstacles. So but there's a lot of mud and ruts. So
Yeah. Well, it's actively.
there's more for us to find. We've only done about half.
There's a whole nother
So
side.
I can't cast judgment yet.
Okay.
But I like that they have chicken.
What's
they
that?
got fried chicken, so that's good. All right, guys, let's do a quick recap. So we did some wheeling. Really enjoyed our morning session. Only negative thing that happened was I dropped my phone on a rock and cracked the corner a little bit, and I temporarily lost my phone, but I found it, so everything's good. We just ate some lunch at their little lodge that they have. It's nice, it's small. I can see where in the summer or in the busy season that it might get kind of packed in there. I brought my own lunch. They didn't mind that I ate that. As far as bringing outside food in, they didn't seem to care. But the guys got chicken, and I think they had hamburgers. So everything looked good. Everyone enjoyed their food, and it was nice that it was warm in there. It was nice because it's 47 and sprinkling right now. So it was really nice in there to have that facility. 2 thumbs up for that, and I appreciate that service. I have been to off-road parks that don't even have outside picnic areas. You basically have to go back to the parking lot, eat on the hood of your Jeep, or eat in your Jeep or whatever. So that's really nice that they have that. I do appreciate that service. So it's sloppy, muddy, and it's everything that I kind of thought it was going to be. I'm not knocking them for that. They never said that you're going to Moab or you're going to the Rubicon. So far, because of the way that the parks run and organized, I think they're at really at a 6 or 7 out of 10. Now, saying that is not a negative for me. I don't want to give it an 8 or 9 and someone come out and say, man, that wasn't as challenging as I wanted it to be, or that was a mud pit. That's kind of why I'm saying it's not, so far hasn't been super challenging. That mostly our challenges is trying to get up muddy ruts because it's wet and slick, and that's our own fault, not theirs. Everything drains fantastic for the amount of water that's come through here. So I'm sure in July it'd be a lot of fun just to come out here and ride. I'm actually going to start the GoPro right now because it's kind of a cool section to look at. Yeah, cool. Just started the GoPro, so right now you guys are hearing me and I'm filming it, so we'll show you the backside of that. Now this property, I would like to mention you can rent dirt bikes, side-by-sides, and four-wheelers, and there's dirt bikes, side-by-sides, and four-wheelers out here riding. They have everybody has separate trails, so people aren't impeding on each other, and everyone seems to be really friendly and having a good time. The nice thing about it being private property is you get a nice band like this, everyone knows that you're allowed to be here, you're supposed to be here, and it's kind of like a different attitude versus public land where if you're out here tearing up some ruts or you're tearing up a trail, you've paid for that opportunity. Versus when it's public land, we want to keep it nice for the next guy to come out and ride because there's not enough money for maintenance. So that's the nice thing about the private property. Now, you don't want to obviously go out here with the intention to destroy their property, but if something happens, they make enough money to keep this place going and keep it operational. At least they have for some time now. I know a lot of my buddies that have rode dirt bikes here for a long time. In fact, I saw one of their plaques up on the wall when I came in today from a race in 2009. I thought that was hilarious. But anyways, I'm really liking the rocks that we did earlier. There was would have normally been a dry creek bed. Today was an actual creek. But that was a lot of fun. That reminded me of South Dakota, or like the Black Hills. And there was another couple hill climbs with some rocks. For the most part, it's typical Georgia, red clay, slick red clay, and you know, it's filling the R35s up pretty fast. Almost everyone riding today has 35s. Woolie's got 37s, and but no one's broken, knock on wood. And we haven't had to do any. Well, there's one recovery. A guy kind of got the wrong angle into some mud, but that was fine. We pulled him out. There's one guy here on a little bit smaller ridge grapplers, and everything else is basically stock. And he's learning, but he hasn't got stuck, and he's listening to us and appreciative. And everyone else seems to be really self-sufficient. I'm riding today with the Good Guys, Good Bros Off-Road Club, and then my friend Jonathan Woolley. So me and Woolley are kind of outsiders to the club. Me and Woolley decided we wanted to come out, and we talked to Drew from Good Bros Off-Road, and he mentioned it to his club, and they said, yeah, we'll come out. And they've been really super friendly and been great to talk to everybody. In fact, one of them ordered some parts from me last night, and is going to be getting some more stuff from me. So I'm definitely excited about that. And so anyways, we're having a good time out here. I know this is a lot of talking. I'll try to give you as much action as we can. I'm filming all of my own stuff, even though there's a lot of people here. I'm trying not to slow the group down by filming and taking pictures, but I want to give a good review. So that's why I'm kind of talking this out with you guys to tell you what I think. For anybody who's done any off-roading in Georgia, this is typical of what we see even in a natural setting. And I haven't come across any tires or concrete or trees laid out or any kind of poles, which is pretty typical of man-made off-road parks, that they create obstacles to keep you entertained. It seems here that they follow the natural contour very well. I'm not saying this to knock on anybody, but GRJ Off-Road Park, which I don't think is still operational, but when I first moved back, they had a couple weekends when it was open, and it was in a beautiful setting, and I'm glad that it existed. I'm glad when any off-road park is made and exists, but I was pretty disappointed in how they cut the trails. Just for someone who does landscaping, has done landscaping the majority of their life, I can tell that they basically cut trees down, used a bobcat, and went down a hill, up a hill, down a hill, up a hill. And what I would have done is walked, and I'd love to create my own park. So that would be fantastic to get that opportunity. But anyways, what I would have done is walked and hiked the property and really put some time into looking for natural features. And that seems like what they've done here. Or maybe there was already some sort of natural trail, and then they've extended and expanded on that. Because not seeing a ton of gravel, we're on gravel right now, but not seeing a ton of gravel, it's a lot of what seems to be natural trails. When I mean natural trails, I'm saying someone might have used it as a road back in the 1800s, or even in the early 1900s. Might have been what they used to get around. And when you find those natural trails, what those guys typically did was they went through the easiest way to get from point A to point B, or at least the easiest trees to cut down, but they've been worn down, and the trails are hard packed, so it makes it easier to ride. And so far that's the case. When someone cuts a fresh trail, it's not packed very well. When it rains, it creates erosion and ruts, and big ruts are just not my thing. I don't like big ruts, and I will not lie. It just sucks your tires up, and you tend to, belly out if you have 35s and 33s. Get on your diffs and on your control arms, and to carry momentum, and that's when you break stuff. And I know that's typical with Georgia, but I like trail riding and I like rocks. So I like overlanding and I like rock crawling, and everything else in between in Georgia, at least in the southeast, isn't that exciting for me. Now, when I go out west, they're in between typically is slick rock or things like that, which is fun. You got good traction, and can do some hill climbs. That could be fun. But everything I've seen so far, it's just a fairly well done. It seems like they've been doing it a while, that they have some experience. Everyone's very relaxed. I haven't had anyone kind of bullying or nobody turning their nose up or down at us. So, you know, was really appreciative that everyone came out today on this rainy day and had a good time. So, if you made it through this bit of conversation, you'll kind of get my gist of the park so far. Now, we did Jeep Park 1, I think it's known as Slippery Nipple. That's the area of rock we did. Now we're in Jeep Park 2, I believe. So when you leave the main office, there's a couple different roads, and this one has a fairly long gravel access road. So anyways, we're following that fairly long gravel access road right now, and there's some signs we're passing now that say more mud, less mud, trails, that kind of thing. So we're just all seeing what we can do today and not trying to break, but have a good time. So I will keep you guys up to date.
So how close am I to the back?
You're closer now.
You're closer than you were.
How is your spine?
You gonna do it again?
Do you have any power? No.
I'm going for it. I'm just sticking my foot in here and going. Hold on.
Do you have reverse? Yeah, go ahead. Good job. Hold, brakes. Well, that's what bumpers are for.
If you can go back in here, I need to get out of this. I want to leave the Jeep on. You're up against this bumper. You can just leave it there. Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Alright, so in typical off-road fashion, we stopped because we found one rock and we had to all pose for pictures for Instagram and Facebook and all that good stuff. But we're kind of at a spot where we don't know where the trail goes. It's marked on the map, but it's not everything's marked on the trail. So there's 3 trail openings and 1 trail marked. So we're gonna go for the one that's marked so we at least know where we're at, but we'd like to know if we can try the other trail. So what we don't want to do is end up on a side-by-side trail, but we'll see. Listen, Jeeping's about camaraderie, it's about adventure, it's about fun and testing your limits. It's also about getting good pictures for Instagram and Facebook. I mean, what's the point of going off-roading if you're not gonna get social media posts? It's all about the content. That's why I off-road. Beautiful. Yeah, that was nice letting it catch up. So he's not really stuck, we just want to get over on this trail and we couldn't get enough momentum to get turned. Hold it. Hey guys, so what we had to do just to get off one of the roads, it had such thick shoulders and it's wet, is we had to use a winch to pull us to make a left-hand turn. Woolly winch first, then we used the strap to get another guy over, then I winched. We went up to this road and there's no signage, and we're looking at the maps and it says nothing. We don't know if we can see it on the map. We know we are, but we don't know if it's an hour, 2 hours. So it's about 4:30. We gotta try to head back. So we just turned around. It's 3 of us now, and no breakages. Everybody's doing good. Really impressed with Jesse, who, you know, this is kind of his first off-road trip, and he's doing good. We got him between me and Wooly, so we both have winches and everybody's got recovery gear, and we've been been using it a little bit today. But LJ's running good, and everybody's running good. We're just gonna head back and go wash the vehicles up. I really can't say enough about the staff here. Real friendly, and everyone we've encountered has been really nice. And the park is really nice to me that it exists. Really like the fact that it exists, and that I'm not so concerned as much about tread lightly as I typically am, because we're still using common sense, we're still using tree savers, we're still behaving responsibly, but some guys got stuck and they're digging up ruts and that kind of thing, and they'll come back in through here and fix that. So that's really nice that this exists, but I would love to have some more signage, and the lack of signage is really frustrating. It seems like they just aren't putting as much effort into the Jeep trails as they do into the dirt bikes and side-by-sides, which makes sense. That's their mainstay, that's their money maker. So I had a great day. It was a fantastic experience. This is honestly had a ton of fun. I haven't had this much fun on a trail, in a public trail, in a long time. And like I said, it's private property, but I don't know if I've ever had, at private parks, I don't think I've ever had this much fun, because it's so natural. You feel like you're off in the woods. It's not overcrowded. Now, some of the conditions that we should discuss is the fact that it's February, it's raining, so not as many people here. If I come in July, which I am going to do, I want to come out here and see how dry it is. If it's a muddy mess in July and there's been no rain, I'm going to be frustrated, and I'm going to keep it at a 6. So right now I'm rating it at a 6.5. That's not to say that it's not a fun place to go to. What I'm saying is there's room for improvement, and not in a negative way. I think that I'm glad that it exists, and everyone here has been super nice and polite to us, and everyone's had a good time. But I think we went to the 2 different Jeep parks, and only one of them had rocks, and would like to see more rock. Just a lot of mud. I'm glad the trails exist, and that the amount of trail riding that's here. It does seem like a big park. I've been to smaller parks, and what they do is they just do a lot of cutbacks, and you're like, oh, we were just on that trail, oh, we're just on the trail. So this seems more spaced out, and I like that they did that. So I'm gonna quit filming now. I'm gonna head over to the lodge, and we're gonna wash up, and I'll see how the wrap up, the washing goes. If it's easy, if it's simple, I'll give a few closing remarks, and we'll head on. So it's the end of the day, and got a little drink. Behind me is where they have cabins and RVs you can rent, and you can stay here for a couple days and off-road, rent side-by-sides and stuff like that. But another cool feature that Woolie's using right now is this car wash, and you buy tokens. They're a couple dollars each, and you can wash your vehicle off and not go home dirty. And they also have an air up station. So it's gonna be nice to be able to air up and wash my vehicle off, and not have to try to find somewhere in public to do that, especially because a lot of car wash places do not like that. So it's nice that they offer that service. And anyways, I'm gonna end the video here. Thanks for watching, guys. We had a great day. I'm gonna say a 6.5 out of 10 on the park. Gonna come back in the summer, see if we can bump it up to 7, film some rock crawling, see if we can do a little bit more of that. It was just so wet and slippery today, but like I say, I had a great time today. Fun level was a 9, staff was a 9, facilities a 9. Just wish we had some more rock crawling, but we came to a dirt bike track to do rock crawling, so that's what happens. But they do offer Jeep trails, and that's what we did today, and it was a lot of fun. So it's Durhamtown Offroad Park in Union Point, Georgia, and hope you guys come out here and try it for yourselves. I think I would. I'd suggest it. Again, we'll come back out in July or August and try it out again. But anyways, we'll be seeing you.